The Fox News psychologist Keith Ablow has another lunatic theory to share with us. This time it's about how ISIS is like crystal meth. But he also says ISIS is like crystal meth, so America should try to out-crystal meth them or something.
To leave what they have here in this country to go join ISIS.
Well, Elizabeth, that's exactly the way to get to the why of this. To leave what they have here. Why? Well, it's not enough. Not to them. We talk as psychiatrists about these in-betweeners, in-between jobs, in-between teenage years and adult years, without a sense of self. And they're looking for something to fill them up. And you know what? It's a pure drug, radical Islam. And it makes you feel as though you have a mission in the world, and that can be the answer to all those nagging, terrible questions about, well, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, or why, or who I am. And those are the vulnerable youth that we're talking about.
When you hear that quote, that these are not someone who are not easily influenced, they're focused young men, are you saying that the people who are joining have the potential to focus on something, they just can't find it here? I mean, we have more distractions than ever here. Find a video game you like, not ISIS.
Well, look, it's a drug, so think about crystal methamphetamine. The folks who use that are very focused. They go buy it. Some of them make it. It isn't easy. It's dangerous. But you know what? It fills them up. It answers really tough, nagging questions that they have about whether life is even worth living. And listen, Elizabeth, when we debranded America, and don't forget this president took away the American brand, when we took away the notion of what it meant to be American, for some number of people we took away a part of them, a sense of patriotism, forward momentum, and they are going to find it elsewhere. Our brand is being diluted systematically, methodically, I would say, by this president.
Yeah, it's Obama's fault, I know. But see, that's questionable what he's saying, because what you're saying, Dr. Keith Ablow, is that jihadists play this role where they claim to have all the answers and they're never wrong. And since they're special, they're like crystal meth to these kids, where they think they have a right to do violence on others. And the kids buy into it. And it's almost like he's jealous the way he's talking about it. Like you're saying America should copy the tactics and the certitude of jihadists in order to beat them at their own barbaric game. But you wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't say that. I mean, that's a little too far even for Fox News. You wouldn't call for, like, I don't know, an American jihad or anything, right? I would be misinterpreting to say that.
Well, consider this idea, an American jihad. That's what our own Dr. Keith Ablow is calling for in his new op-ed.
All right, I guess I didn't misinterpret there. No, see, that's what Keith Ablow is saying. No, forget their extremism and their jingoism, which makes these kids happy and excited so they go join. We need to just copy that and do our own extremism and jingoism and have our own fake narratives and bullshit stories about how we're always right, we're never wrong, and we can do violence because we're the good people. Or you could blow up that entire dynamic and not try to copy all the bad aspects of a terrorist organization. It's amazing. Look, at the beginning, he's on to something at the very beginning when he talks about how to kids who have no purpose, who are miserable, and they're looking for a reason to live, and they're looking for a higher cause. Yeah, ISIS is like a drug. It's like a powerful drug that hooks them in. Oh, yes, I get to be somebody now and mean something. Now, it's all bullshit, and it's all fake, and it's not real. But nonetheless, that's the feeling that, you know, people who go to Syria to fight in ISIS, that's the feeling that they get. So he was onto something at the beginning, but then he just fucking veers off into a ditch. Why? He goes, I blame Obama. Later on in that clip, he goes on to talk about how Ronald Reagan is the cure. He's such an asshole, typical Republican. Reagan's the cure, blame Obama for everything. And he makes the argument of like, well, Reagan sold America like the ISIS people sell jihad. Not an argument you should be proud to make, not something that you should be advocating for. But then there's another layer of irony on this. He's blaming Obama for kids going to join ISIS. But if you're going to blame any American politicians for the rise of ISIS, we already know which group to blame, and it ain't Obama. It's George W. Bush and Dick Cheney and the neoconservatives.